On March the 1st, Apple and the FBI testified before a House Judiciary Committee over encryption, and whether or not Apple should be forced to create a tool to access secured data on an iPhone. While the debate over device security has rolled on for quite some time, how did we get to this point in just a few months? On December 2nd last year, a terrorist attack killed 14 people and seriously injured 22 in San Bernardino, California. The mass shooting and attempted bombing is described by the FBI to have been performed by homegrown violent extremists inspired by foreign groups, though seemingly not acting for them. On February 9th, the FBI claimed it could not unlock an iPhone 5C used by one of the shooters, and asked Apple for assistance with gaining access to data it believes could help further the investigation. Though it received help from Apple relating to other data sources, Apple said it couldn't help with getting into the iPhone's encrypted data. The primary issue lies with the way the iPhone handles failed attempts to guess the device's passcode. On February 16th, a US magistrate judge ordered Apple to comply with the FBI's request and develop a way to prevent the data deletion. This would allow the FBI to attempt a brute force attack on the login screen to find the right code and gain access, but Apple resisted. The next day, Apple published a message to our customers from CEO Tim Cook, advising that it had already complied with some of the FBI's demands, but that it would not create a workaround that would have the potential to unlock any iPhone in someone's physical possession. Cook goes on to claim, compromising the security of our personal information can ultimately put our personal safety at risk, and that while it has no sympathy for terrorists, it won't lower itself to building a back door to the iPhone. Cook claims this is a tool Apple does not currently have, and due to the risk of it being used by bad actors, it's something we consider too dangerous to create.
Think about this. If a court compels Apple to write this piece of software, then to place a backdoor in the iPhone, we believe it does put hundreds of millions of customers at risk. In addition, if a court can ask us to write this piece of software, think about what else they could ask us to write. Maybe it's an operating system for surveillance. Maybe it's the ability for the law enforcement to turn on the camera. I mean, I don't know where this stops, but I do know that this is not what should be happening in this country. This is not what should be happening in America.
The FBI responded to the refusal by filing another motion with the intent of forcing Apple to comply without being able to challenge it. It also insisted it only wanted to bypass the security in this one investigation, but other law enforcement agencies have admitted they would go to court to use the same tool for other cases if the FBI's request is granted. Apple's formal response took the form of a 65-page legal document basically claiming the FBI's use of the All Writs Act, an 18th century law that is used in modern times by courts to force communications companies to provide technical assistance to law enforcement, should not apply. According to Apple, the FBI is unable to meet the various tests required by the All Writs Act in order for it to be enforceable, with Cook suggesting,
if there should be a law that compels us to do it, it should be passed out in the open, and the people of America should get a voice in that. The right place for that debate to occur is in Congress.
But you speak.
FBI Director James Comey later admitted the case would set a precedent for privacy rights and reach far beyond the issues raised in the San Bernardino shooting. Testifying under oath before Congress, Comey refuted Apple's worries about the tool being misused, suggesting the possibility was not a real thing, as Apple already has an excellent security track record and that it was good at protecting its code. On March 1st, Director Comey and Apple's attorney, Bruce Sewell, sat before the House Judiciary Committee for a discussion on encryption and privacy implications when law enforcement wants to gain access to data. The committee started by speaking to Director Comey, who appeared to take a lighter approach compared to previous comments he made about encryption. The main thrust of Comey's argument was that the increased use of encryption would lead to a place where all of our conversations will be totally private, and that it cannot decrypt that which is covered by strong encryption. Under questioning, Comey admitted the case may set a precedent that could be used to get similar assistance in the future, and that it would certainly go to court for further requests if it is allowed. Comey also suggests
the problem we face here is all of our lives are on these devices. If they're warrant proof, even a judge can't order access to a device. That is a big problem.
Then it was Sewell's turn. Bruce Sewell published remarks about his testimony before the committee meeting, suggesting the FBI request was an unconstitutional power grab that would set dangerous precedents both within the United States and internationally. Noting the FBI's requests to Apple to weaken the security of its products, Sewell also explained how Apple has already cooperated with the FBI as far as it is able to do so. Since the committee meeting, Apple has filed a formal objection to the court order, demanding it create a tool to unlock the San Bernardino shooter's iPhone. Tech companies have also stepped out in force, filing briefings with the court in support of Apple, with others making their views more publicly known. Not all declarations to the court helped Apple, as a letter from 5 families of San Bernardino victims supports the court order. It is unlikely the dispute will be resolved anytime soon, with the debate over digital privacy and national security almost certain to continue for months, if not years.